Hi, before I introduce my industry, I just want to begin with this question. If you look and think about the built environment around you, what can you say? Do you find it attractive and impressive how buildings are well designed and well constructed? Well, for me, it's yes. So the industry that I chose is construction industry. Construction industry is an industry that is composed of companies that design, build, develop, and maintain structures. In other words, it's an industry that focuses not only on construction, but also on remodeling, renovations, removals, and additions of infrastructures. So, this is how construction started. It started back in the Neolithic Age or New Stone Age, where people constructed houses such as stone houses, mud brick houses, and huts. This is followed by Bronze Age, where people discovered the use of copper and bronze. An Iron Age where they discovered iron and steel, which are much higher metals than copper and bronze. Then in Middle Ages, fortifications, castles, and cathedrals were made. Same as with Renaissance, but the styles became more symmetric and intricate. Then during the 17th and 18th centuries, people focused on the development of ideas, calculations, methods, and techniques in construction. So during the 19th century or industrial age, they started building roads, railways, and canals. Now we're at the modern age, where we can see concrete buildings, skyscrapers, steel bridges, glass towers, and so on. Before I jump into the specific amount of revenue, here's the ranking of leading construction companies globally. So this is based on revenue. Number 1 is China, number 2 is France, number 3 is Spain, number 4 is Germany, number 5 is Austria, number 6 is United States, and number 7 is Japan. So here are some of the construction companies in the countries I just mentioned. So China State Construction is the leading construction company with a revenue of 170.44 billion US dollars. China Railway Group is the second with a revenue of 140.99 billion US dollars. China Railway Construction is the third with a revenue of 111.66 billion US dollars. China Communications Construction is the fourth with a revenue of 83.28 billion US dollars. And Power Construction Corp is the fifth with a revenue of 52.98 billion US dollars. As you can see, all of the top 5 companies on the left is in China. Next is Vinci Construction in France with a revenue of 52.14 billion US dollars, followed by ACS or Actividades de Construcción y Servicios in Spain with a revenue of 44.19 billion US dollars. This is again followed by 2 Chinese companies which I didn't include in here. And then Hochtief in Germany with a revenue of 29.12 billion US dollars. Then followed by another Chinese company which is China Energy Corp. Then Strabag in Austria with a revenue of 18.69 billion US dollars. Then on number 14, Larsen and Toubro in United States with a revenue of 17.63 billion US dollars. Then Obayashi in Japan with a revenue of 17.53 billion US dollars. So here's a graph that shows the revenue of each company. Moving on to the 4 factors of production, which are land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship. In construction industry, land is the base or the starting point in construction. It can be privately owned or government owned. Next is capital, which is the assets or the resources that people make and use to produce and distribute goods and services. This includes tools, equipment, machinery, factories, and human knowledge. In construction industry, tools such as pliers, hammers, screwdriver, measuring tape, equipment such as excavator, road roller, hydrocrane, bulldozer, and human knowledge such as engineering and architectural knowledge are some examples. In the area of labor, architects, engineers, managers, contractors, construction workers, foremen, and manufacturers are the ones who apply their efforts, abilities, and skills to production. Next is entrepreneurship, where the entrepreneurs are the ones who run the construction companies. Targeted consumers. The construction industry targets a lot of clients depending on the type of construction being made. It can be anybody who plans to construct any of these: industrial, residential, commercial, retail, health, education, leisure, and recreation. Demand and supply. Spices are the factors that change the demand, while cotton are the factors that change the supply. This is how I think of it in relation to construction industry. In China, specifically in Wuhan, two hospitals were built in order to accommodate the people infected with the coronavirus. The first hospital is Huo Shenchan Hospital, which is built in 10 days, followed by Lei Shenchan Hospital, which is built in 12 days. So the demand for building hospitals in Wuhan increases, that's why the demand curve shifts to the right. And the supply increases as well, as construction companies require more construction supplies in order to build the two hospitals. Future projection. According to GPOC, or the Global Powers of Construction, the construction industry will have a projected revenue of $15 trillion by 2025, and an estimated global infrastructure investment of $3.7 trillion per year until 2040. Possible strategies. The construction industry should enable adaptive management by attracting new talent and building up the required skills. It should also implement digital models and data usage throughout its processes. It should also innovate and integrate new technologies by implementing new approaches and adopting complementary devices. And lastly, it should identify the most promising products and market segments. Thank you.